Hi everybody, welcome back. So the last video I uploaded on my channel was all about how my makeup preferences have changed, and I explained in that video why they've changed and how I like to wear my makeup now. And I did say in that video that I very much like, both with my makeup and my clothes actually, the stereotypical French aesthetic. That is very much how I am leaning towards. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a French makeup look on myself, which is why I am makeup free. And I'm going to say this word a lot. I am going to say stereotypical a lot because I am aware that that is how a French woman is portrayed to the rest of the world in how she likes to do her makeup, and I'm very well aware as well that there are probably people within Paris, within the rest of France, who like to do their makeup in a very different way to the typical French woman makeup. But the makeup I'm going to be doing today is very minimal. There's not going to be a lot going on. I will be going for a bit of a red lip, but this is very much how I like my makeup nowadays. I like a very minimal, pared back, natural looking makeup. And as I was kind of researching for this video, I came across this article on Who What Wear. This is a great website if you've not come across it, whowhatwear.co.uk, wear as in wearing your clothes, not wear the location. And they have some really great fashion, beauty, lifestyle content on there. And I came across this one, which is about the differences between a French and an American makeup routine. I'm not going to mention an American makeup routine. I'm just purely going to follow the advice from a French Parisian makeup artist, Leslie Demeaux. I'm going to follow her advice. So the first step of a typical French makeup routine isn't to do with the makeup itself, it's all to do with skincare. And I think we all know now that having a really good skincare routine is really important for how your makeup is going to both apply and look. But it seems that for the stereotypical French makeup routine that the skincare, the prep, is taken much more seriously. The better you treat your skin, the more hydrated it is, the less you sort of need to do when it comes to the makeup side of things. So in the article, Leslie says that in the morning she doesn't wash her face. I have kind of gone in and out of washing my face in the morning. I always used to, and then recently I stopped washing my face in the morning, and then I went on Skin and Me and their advice was to wash your face in the morning, which I have been doing, but over the past couple of weeks I've stopped washing my face in the morning. So the first thing that I put on my face in the morning is a toner. Now I have decanted both my toner and my essence into spray bottles like this, so I cannot recall which one is which, but both my toner and my essence are K-Beauty products. The toner I'm pretty sure is a propolis one, so it's very good for sensitive skin, it's very hydrating, and then my essence is a really hydrating product as well, so trying to make sure that I'm getting a really good level of hydration in my skincare products. And then I went in with a serum, which is one that I haven't used in quite a while, but I wanted a really hydrating product, so I used the L'Oreal 1.5% hyaluronic acid serum. The other serums I have are good for hydration, but they also take into consideration sensitivity as well, whereas the L'Oreal one, this is I think purely just about excuse me, hydration. So again, I wanted another step for hydration. And with a hyaluronic acid you want to apply it on to damp skin, and my skin was damp after the essence and toner, but after applying the serum just to kind of seal it in, I used the Avène Thermal Spring Water. I really like this. Again, a great product for hydration, a really fine mist, so I used that. In the article, Leslie then says to go in with an eye cream, but the only eye cream I have is a retinol one, and you shouldn't be applying any retinol products during the day. They should only be for the evening. So I did skip an eye cream today, but I think it probably would be a good idea if I got another eye cream to use during the day, but that's another thought. And then the next step was to add an oil into your moisturiser, and I never do this. I usually just go in with a moisturiser, but if I was to use an oil I would put that on before. But that's what Leslie did in the article, so that is what I did this morning. So the moisturiser I'm using is the Purito Centella Unscented Recovery Cream. I love this. This I think has replaced the Soon-Young Barrier Cream as my favourite moisturiser. It's so beautiful, very hydrating. And I mix it in with a couple of drops of the Clarins Blue Orchid Treatment Oil. Quite a hydrating oil, but to be totally honest with you, I hate the smell. But the smell aside, it did make for a really hydrating oil moisturiser moisturiser hybrid, so I did like that combination, and if I can get over the smell, I think this is something that I would probably do on a more frequent basis. And then the very last step was SPF. I am using the Beauty of Joseon Relief Sun SPF 50. Excellent SPF. I've already used up, I think, one full-size version of this and a mini size. It's just a beautiful SPF. It applies like a moisturiser, so a lovely, lovely product, and really important to protect your skin from the sun regardless of the weather. So my skin is now primed and prepped. I'm all ready to put on some makeup, so I will zoom you in a little bit and we'll start with the base makeup. So there's no mention of a primer, but I think that's because the skin prep has been so hydrating, it can act as a primer in and of itself. So I'm going to be skipping the primer and going straight in with foundation. So the overall appearance of this typical French makeup routine is for it to look very natural. It's to look quite undetectable on the skin, and it's nothing too overdone, nothing too obvious. So the foundation that Leslie uses is a very natural, lightweight foundation. And the lightest foundation that I own is from NARS Sheer Glow. The one that she mentions in her article is MAC Face and Body. I've never tried it, but a few people have recommended it to me. But I'm going to use some of the NARS Sheer Glow in the shade Deville. And she says she only applies it where needed. And I think that's very important in terms of making your makeup look quite natural. I think I'm speaking for myself here, but I'm very used to just putting on foundation all over my face, whereas I might not need it. I might just kind of need it, you know, for example here where I've got a bit of redness, I've got a few blemishes going on, whereas somewhere like my forehead I might not need it. So I've just pumped some onto the back of my hand. So looking at where I need some, I'm just gonna apply it to those areas. She also mentioned if more coverage is needed, she mixes in a concealer with her foundation, but I think I'm just going to go in separately with my concealer. Now I would usually go in with a colour corrector under my eyes first before I put on any foundation, but that's not mentioned in the article. So the concealer I'm going to use is the Vive Modern Radiance Concealer, and I'm just going to pop some under my eyes. I did read from other articles that they're not that bothered about covering dark circles because it kind of adds to that natural lived-in type of look. Whereas for me, I really do like to conceal my dark circles, but that's just because mine are quite bad. So I'm just going to let that concealer sit for a couple of minutes before I blend it in. Okay, and the next step is to then use a blotting powder to set the makeup and make sure it lasts all day. I have a blotting powder which is by Fenty. This is the Invisimatte blotting powder. I have a really big pan going on this one, which is exciting. So I'm just going to take a smaller brush and be quite precise with where I'm going to blot this. I'm not going to blot all over. I'm just going to do under the eyes and on my T-zone. And then the next step is blusher, and Leslie says that this is arguably the most important step, and I agree. I love wearing a blusher. I feel like it adds so much life into your skin. I'm going to use the Vive Pesca blusher, and she says the colour really depends on what you're going to do with the rest of the makeup look. So because I'm going to be wearing a red lip, I want something a bit peachy on the cheeks, but also just take into consideration your skin tone as well. So where I'm warm, I would go for a warm blusher. And then the next step is a bronzer around the edge of the face to create some light contouring. I'm going to use my Vive Bronzing Duo. You have two shades in here. These are both light, but you have light 1 and light 2. I'm just going to stick with light 1 because I don't want to go too dark. And then eyes are very quick and easy. It's just using the same products that you used for your cheek. It helps to kind of like tie in the look as well. So I'm going to start off with the bronzer on a fluffy brush and just kind of blend that through the crease. This also helps as well in not having to buy a separate eyeshadow palette. Your bronzers and blushes do work absolutely fine on the eyes, and again it just adds to that natural look. I'm going to run some of that bronzer under my lower lash line as well, not so much to create a brown line but just to add a bit of definition again. Now I usually use an eyeshadow primer first before I go in with any eyeshadow. I've got oily eyelids, so I hope that finds with the longevity of my eyeshadows, so it's a bit weird to just go straight in with powder on the eyes. And then the next step is to curl your lashes before you put mascara on. Just helps to open out the eye a bit more. I've got naturally quite straight lashes, so I like to do this most times anyway. And then the mascara I'm using is the Maybelline Snap Mascara. This is a tubing mascara and I've got it in a brown shade, and a brown mascara is a good option again to help create that natural makeup look. Sometimes black can just be a bit too harsh, so a brown shade could be a better option. So that was just a couple of coats of mascara. Again, it's all about a natural look, so only a couple of coats. You don't want a really big, bold, dramatic eye look. So next is going to be lips. Now depending on the blush colour, that will depend on what lip colour you're going for, but because I want to go for a red, again that's why I've gone for something quite peachy. I would tend to go for a peachy blush on a day-to-day basis anyway, regardless really of what lip colour I'm going for. Now the stereotypical French makeup look usually involves a red lip, and I'm going to adhere to that stereotype today, but of course you can go for other colours, some nice natural nude light colours for during the day, and quite often now a balm-like texture is preferred over something more matte because again it adds to that natural look and it gives the lips a little bit of hydration. So I am, like I say, going to go for a red lip, but I'm going to go for one of my new ones because these have a really soft hydrating texture to them. This is my Merit lipstick. I'm going to go for the shade Aperitif. This is their limited edition summer lipstick. I think they might have stopped doing this one now. And this one is meant to be quite a good universally flattering shade because it's not too warm and it's not too cool, and I would agree with that. So I'm going to apply some of this on, but I don't want a bold red lips. I might have to blend it out with my finger. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It feels like it's looking a little bit more intense on camera than it is in person, but it's a really soft shade. It's that kind of like hint of red, but nothing too bright and bold and like pillar box red, and the formulation is just really soft and creamy. It's kind of one of those lipsticks that you forget that you're wearing something on your lips, so I'm quite happy with that. And then lastly would be a liquid highlighter. I'm going to use my Vive Skin Dew, and Leslie says that she applies highlighter on the cheekbones, inner eye corners, eyelids and a tiny bit on the nose. Now I would usually wear for a blusher Milani Luminoso, which has some shimmer in it, but because I was going to go in with highlighter today for this video, I didn't want to go for that blusher. I would do on a normal day-to-day basis, but I didn't want the overall look to be very shimmery because again it's that natural look that we're going for. in this video. The highlighter that Leslie mentions in the article is Becca Champagne Pop, which I have owned. I owned the powder version, and that was actually a really, really pretty highlighter. It's a lovely light yellow gold shade, and not like chunky bits of glitter. It's quite a diffused shimmer. I usually use a powder for my inner corners, but I've just picked up a little bit of this on a dainty brush. And then some on the eyelids. I don't want to add too much. I think it's just to give that kind of slight glaze effect. Just a little bit of shine. And then a bit on the nose. And voila, this is the final makeup look. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you are French, please let me know how accurate this was and how you yourself do your makeup. As you can tell, I obviously am not French, so this is just me taking on advice from, again, that stereotypical French makeup look that we hear about all the time. But I do very much like this. I like the base, it's very nice and light, not too much going on the eyes, which I like. I don't like a load of eyeshadow, and then just a light red lip. So I would definitely wear this on a day-to-day basis. I do feel like it is quite a natural makeup look. So if you did like it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please also subscribe if you haven't as well. I would love to have you here. Thank you once again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you again very, very soon for my next video. Bye.